If you want to hear my answers to the single eyeshadow tag, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène with another tag video, and this tag was created by Zeyn San. I hope I got her name right. I will definitely link her channel down below, but I'll probably link it right here as well. I wanted to do this tag because I've been getting into single eyeshadows lately and in a big way. And I'm probably going to morph the definition of single eyeshadows, but our collection is what we deem it to be. And so I'm going to just run with it. This tag has 8 questions. I quickly read through the questions to make sure that I would be able to answer them, but didn't really think about them. I decided that I really want to mull it over and kind of discover my answers along with you. I don't think that tag videos are great when they're overly prepared. I think I just want to see what my answers are as I go through the questions. I hope you don't mind. That's how I tend to do the tags. So let's take a look at the questions and see what we get. First question, do you prefer buying single shadows or palettes? It depends. It depends on your definition. Very often I will look at palettes with the consideration of, can I turn this into singles? I'll give you a perfect example. The Dare to Create 39A. I used 32 of the 39 out of that palette as what I deem to be interchangeable singles because of the size of the pan and the variety of colors. I'm very happy I did that. I also depotted the Jaclyn Hill palette, that 35 shadow collaboration with Morphe. I also consider those now single shadows in my collection. Is it a palette? Was it originally a palette? Yes, but I consider them singles. And I've done that with a number of palettes, including, for example, the Vivids by Colored Rain. They used to be singles. I bought it as a palette. It should be considered a palette or singles. In my head, they're singles. That's just a few examples that I mean. Also, ColourPop. A ton of their palettes, you can pop the shadows out and use them as singles. So to me, the lines are definitely blurred between what should be considered a single and what should be considered a palette. I don't buy very many eyeshadows as a couple here, a couple there. The only company I've done that with at this point, a couple, is Urban Decay and Cliona. You could say if we consider pencils and cream shadows, then I've bought a whole lot more than that. But if we're talking about powder, I do tend to buy them in palette form for the most part. Whew, long answer. Next, when did you start buying single shadows? What got you into them? I would say Urban Decay got me going on single shadows. I did also find a few from Annabelle, which is a Canadian brand, that I enjoyed purchasing at a deep discount. So it gave me a chance to buy colors that I wouldn't necessarily want a whole palette of. And I do like it when the single is housed in a very good component, although now I tend to keep them out of those protective containers, but I do like the fact that they come well protected because singles get messed up a lot faster than shadows that are contained in a palette, in my opinion. But yeah, I would say my first singles were bought really early on, but I tended to be, up to recently, more of a palette purchaser than a singles purchaser. Number 3. What are your favorite brands/formulas of single shadows? I am just venturing into purchasing from companies that sell mostly singles, so I don't have a great answer for you on that. I do enjoy the Moondust Urban Decay shadows and the singles they have. I enjoy quite a number of those. Can't help myself, there are a lot of great colors, and I do think Urban Decay does purples really, really well, and I have green eyes, so purples are good. So I do enjoy Urban Decay a lot. I also enjoy what has kind of topped Urban Decay at this point is Cliona eyeshadows. I purchased their Harvest Moon collection. Actually, I think it's right here. The top 3 rows are Cliona. I purchased this Harvest Moon collection and absolutely love it. It is fantastic. I can open that up and just use a couple shadows and come out with a very, very good look. And also these Aftershock highlighters, I use these a great deal and really am impressed with them. It's unfortunate they don't really show up on camera, but I feel compelled to show you anyway. They are a transformer set of 8 highlighters that make your inner lid pop. I don't use them just as inner corner highlighters. I use them as inner lid, and they always look beautiful. I get questions every time I use these Aftershock shadows on my eyelids. What are you wearing? That looks amazing. So Cliona, I'm going to say Cliona number 1, Colored Rain number 2, because I just finished a brand new focus on that brand, and they have displaced Urban Decay, and Urban Decay is 3rd. But Urban Decay, again, has really solid shadows. They're just different. But I like this kind of different the most, Cliona. Colored Rain as a different kind of different 2nd, and then Urban Decay, again, different as in 3rd. But they are all pretty good. And then my 4th one, for the variety alone, for cost per shadow, is Morphe, because I depot Morphe palettes, and I've done quite a few of them. If you want to see my depotting, I'll just put the playlist right here, because I think you'll be surprised at just how many palettes that I've depotted and how many shadows that results in that you can mix and match as you want. Next up is number 4. If I could only pick 3 singles as the crown jewels of my collection, what would they be? I am going to think about that and be right back. I have too many favorites to bring it down to 3, but I'm going to give you my current 3 answers, and I'm sure that next week and the week after and the week after that it would be different. So just keeping that in mind. I am a huge fan of lime green, and so I have a tie because they are so different, but I love them both so much. One of them is High Voltage, and it's one of those Aftershock shadows, and it's just beautiful. It's this lime green. Every time I wear it, I get compliments. It's just this amazing reflective base. It's just beautiful. That is High Voltage. So it would be between this one and Eye of Newt. And both of them are from Cliona Cosmetics, and this is Eye of Newt. And I think you'll see why they're a tie, because they're very similar, but still they're a bit different. One is more on the silver side, one is more on the gold side, but they both have a very lime green base to them. And on the inner lid, those two look fantastic. So Eye of Newt is this one. This one you can see the color much more than the Aftershock shadow that has a white base. So High Voltage and Eye of Newt. Next one is one that I just discovered recently, and it's from the Vivid Pigments from Colored Rain, and it's called Cute. And it really is cute. It's the perfect name. And I used it twice because it just kept calling to me, and I used it on the inner lid, and I also used it on the center lid. And it looked beautiful with deeper purples and blues. It's just a beautiful color, and somehow I can't give you the full view of it. Okay, that comes out a lot better. See how intense it is? It's kind of it's really between a pink and a purple, and you see more blue in it depending on how you look at it. It's so gorgeous. It's just beautiful, and it makes me want to use it over and over again. And finally, and I did do a red matte eyeshadow video, I'll put it right here. I am in love with red eyeshadow, and this is Relish from Urban Decay. And it's like a reddish brown, and it looks so good in the crease. And I'm running out of fingers, and so here is Relish. And a lot of the reddish shadows are gritty, but they still apply beautifully on the eye. Look at this red, right? And Sauce from the Vivids as well is that kind of red. But Relish, I mean, this is the color that I chose for my birthday color from Urban Decay. That tells you something. I mean, this was my birthday present to myself last year. So this is, it's really a beautiful color. And with green eyes, that red just goes so, so well. So there you have it. Red, lime green, and a nice light lilac-y violet. And from 3 different brands. Actually, the 3 brands I told you were kind of in my top 3, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, next question. Number 5, which brand's singles do you want to try in the future? This is Cliona again, but I really want to try those multi-chromes. I am dying to try those multi-chromes. I had them in my shopping cart 3 times, at least 3 times. That I mentioned that during the last update, the 150-day update of my no-buy. Oh my gosh, I was ready to drop 100 to 150 bucks on Cliona. Oh man, those colors look fantastic, but I just can't justify it. So I passed, but it is breaking my little heart because I want those so badly, along with that Cliona Cosmetics magnetic palette. It is life. The design is amazing. I love it. And I would love to try those multi-chromes. But if we go with brand that I haven't tried yet, Divina Cosmetics is interesting to me. I am curious about the brand. And I would say ColourPop, but I do have a holiday palette from ColourPop called the Semi Precious. And it's terrible because I don't know that much about single eyeshadow companies, a lot of indie brands. I think Luxie Beauty as well, I think it's called Luxie Beauty, is another one that I've seen some really nice shadows from. And I'm trying to think of who else has singles, but I have to admit that for value, I tend to buy palettes and break them up. Maybe that's not, in line with you single shadow lovers out there, but I just find so much value in that. And even if I give away a third of the palette because it's not colors that I'd love, I still come out way ahead. So yeah, I'm kind of on that path right now. And I complement with beautiful high-end options here and there from brands like Cliona. Number 6, what, if any, are some of your single shadow color gaps? I'm sure I'll come up with color gaps in the future as I become aware of different singles out there. But really for me right now, it's getting into the multi-chromes. And the multi-chromes are available from a few different companies. I've mentioned Cliona, I've mentioned Divina Cosmetics, and there are a number of other ones. I do want some, I want to play with them, I want to experience them. And so as a category, that is what I want next. And I'm probably going to take the first dip into multi-chromes with Cliona. So that is definitely on my radar. Oh, and as far as the types of colors, purples to reds, blues to greens, and any sort of a lime green amber shift, I'm all about. Those I think are absolutely beautiful. The next question is, how many single eyeshadows do I have? If you have too many to count, give an estimate. And if you want to put a pic or a clip of your single shadow collection here, that'd be great. You could also show off or mention your favorite palette to store singles in. Okay, so I'm going to break this down in a few different ways. First thing is I'm going to put a video. It's one of the 5 parts in my makeup collection. I devoted one video to singles. So it's going to be right there, and it includes cream and powder products. So take a look at that if you're interested to see my singles collection. Next one is, what is my favorite palette to store singles in? Hands down, it's the Tarte palette, the leopard print palette. Let me show you what that looks like. It is by far my favorite. I have 7 of these. and it's just so, so good. It's perfect. It fits 25 of this size of pen. I think that's 26 mil, I think. And it has a big mirror on the end, and the cover is very durable. It's just, to me, the perfect size. Not too big, not too small, still possible to bring it out and about. And the quality of it is fantastic. If you can get it on sale, that is the palette that I would highly recommend. It's regular price 22 Canadian, if that gives you a sense, but I absolutely love these. Like I said, I have 7 of them. There's a reason. They're fantastic, and I'm a sucker for leopard print, so it all just came together for me. It's my palette of choice, no question. I have to say that the Empty Vivids palette from Colored Rain is a close second. They do still have those. They're actually clearing them out. They're $5 each, I think. Magnetic palettes that would house 16 of those singles, round singles. So yeah, those would be my top options for singles storage. I don't care for the empty lid because I can tell from the spine of the magnetic palette what I have in each. Even though it's similar leopard print, I can still tell them apart, and that's perfectly fine for me because I do tend to keep the singles in collections, so I know what I have in each one of them. I don't have to visually reference them. And as far as how many singles I have total, I'm going to put the number right here because I'm going to have to do a count, and I don't want to interfere with the video as I do the count. I can just tell you I have a lot. But a lot is in the eye of the beholder. So you may think it's not a lot. You may think I have a ton. Up to you to decide. And the final question, number 8. Does your single shadow collection lean towards a certain color family? / is one color family overrepresented? If so, what is it? I'm going to say 2 colors. I'm going to say lime green and purple. Like, other than neutrals that you'll find on a regular basis, lime green, purple, those 2 are probably my favorite colors for eyeshadow, and I'm drawn to those colors, and so I'm going to have quite a bit of those. If I were to give a 3rd place category, it would be yellow. So purple, lime green, yellow, those are all absolute favorites of mine, and so I will gravitate to them on a regular basis when it comes to singles. I did show you Relish, which is a red, and that love of red in the crease and outer lid is a newer kind of bent for me, and so that love of the red started last September, and so they're not as prominent in my collection just because it's a newer pursuit, but definitely purples and lime greens I've been after for a while. So I love them quite a bit. And I don't focus too much on neutrals because a lot of neutrals come with some of the depotted shadows, but those are probably some that I would declutter earlier than others. So as far as the ones that I notice the most and gravitate toward the most, the lime greens and purples are definitely overrepresented. So that's it. Those are my answers to the 8 questions for the single eyeshadow tag. I hope you enjoyed my answers to these questions. I would love to hear what your favorites are down below, whether it is brand or colors or finish, whatever it is that you want to share about your singles collection, even how many you have. I thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.